What's it like winning every game by 30? Simp.
You're so stupid.
Yeah, man. I mean, we might as well do the intro. Like, I'm here with, Mr. No Shirt Shorty, Young Man Tank Top, Andre Arissol.
Come on, man.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, man. Glad to be here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, sure. Well, I wanted to start off. It was a pretty similar question that I was gonna get into, so it was quite nice that we warmed up with that. But I was gonna say, do you think that men are naturally faithful? Or do you think it's more like that? Like being faithful is not in it's more not in male nature. It's more of this like social construct that's been forced upon people. Yeah, man.
That's tough.
Yeah, but I mean,
are men naturally faithful?
Yeah. Do you think, or do you think that we're just supposed?
I think so.
We're just supposed to be
procreating. I think so. I think we are. I think just by society has made us not. Because if you get, the best way I can put it is if you get a group of girls like in this room now, and just them and their conversations will be completely different to ours. So let's say if I went on a date with a girl, right, and I'm like, yo, like, she's paying, I'm trying to, she's got back, she's got this, that, the other. More time, on a generic term, a girl's conversation, like, oh, he's a nice guy, like, he's got dreams, he's got aspirations. No, this is how, but I hear what you're saying. Yes, 100%. Girls have evolved, yeah, but men, I'm going away from the topic.
No, go where it takes you, man. It's the point of the question.
We are capable of it. It's just our conversations from young is all about f***ing.
I agree.
So obviously we just accept that that's the cool thing to do. It's like, how many bitches can we f***, like this, that, the other. That's what we validate as a group of men.
Yeah.
I don't think I think we are capable of it because there's men that are faithful that only stick with one person or have been with one person their whole life. I just think now you have to condition it out of us a bit more. So
you think it's something that comes from maturity more than anything? Like,
yeah,
you kind of grow out of it. You kind of, I don't know. You realize that there could always be something else out there I could always be chasing. But like at some point, is it worth the risk of like, why don't I build something kind of thing?
But I think that's like more of a life thing. I think it's like we always face like temptations. So like if I have a bad girl, she's sexy, like I do.
Simp.
It's always natural for someone to be like, oh, she has bigger breasts, she has bigger back, she has this, that, the other. Like you, man, like I've been in a relationship where I've been in a relationship and I want to be single. I'm single and I want to be in a relationship, and I'm pretty sure everyone can. Like we want that. We're single, we're girls, and you're like, you know what? I wish I just had someone to talk to or cuddle up with, and then you have that, and you're like, I'm kind of bored of this. It's because we're always gonna fight temptation. So until you get to that mature age where you're like, I've been there, I've done that, I've tried all these girls.
I think it's something you always want. The temptation is, like you said, the temptation is always gonna be there. It's kind of just like, I don't know, lack of a better word, maturity. Like you kind of weigh up your options. I mean, it's true that there's stuff on the line. If you do this, it's a risk. If it goes wrong, there's tons of risks. You could get this girl pregnant, now you got to deal with that. Like, I don't know, you could get a disease and now you bring that back into your marriage, or you can find out and ruin your family. There's all sorts of risks. So it's like, I don't know, you get to this point where maybe you feel like maybe the risks aren't worth it anymore.
I think when you find something that's like worth it, you're not willing to jeopardize that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think right now we don't know what we want. We haven't figured out who we are. We're all still like testing the waters, as you say. Like, we're learning what we actually want. But until you find like that right person or that right situation, everything to that, like you man have had like good looking girls or girlfriends or had like a fling. You've not looked at the other girls because you know you got a bad girl. So it's like kind of the same in a relationship. Like when you got what you want that fulfills all areas, you're not looking anywhere else. Like, but if you don't, then you're obviously going to be like, well, I know I could get this, I know I could get that, and as Josh said, like it does come with maturity. Yeah. And like, where are you in your life? Like,
that's a big thing, man. It's definitely where you are in your life.
Smell like Betsy here. Oh, y'all smell like destiny.
We can talk a little bit about basketball, and then we'll call it done. about the season, man. What's it like winning every game by 30? Like, what is that like?
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Good, obviously, we all want to win and whatever, but it's bad because I think when you're practicing or when you're going into
Yeah,
games,
did you get complacent?
yeah, that's where complacency.
They always say winning gets boring, doesn't it? Like, that's the saying.
So that's why you gotta, like, I think our coach made a good job of making it like get better today as a player, as a team.
You got to find ways to get better, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely we've seen complacency. Like some practices we'll have where it's just like, oh, we're playing this team this weekend, so like us doing this doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
And so that's where it got
The grand
tough,
scheme of
and-
things, we're going to beat this team by 20 on a bad day. Yeah.
But it's shown. We lost one game to Thames Valley.
Did you not prepare well that week?
We did, but I think because of what we did in the Lynch Trophy final where we beat them, and then we played them in the league, we were kind of like, we're gonna win. And
You
so
guys
that's-
all kind of had that in the back of your mind. You were like,
Yeah, and so that's where it gets tough. Like, I'm sure everyone on our club, like even coaches, maybe got like that too. So it's just like you got to find ways, and then you got to make sure you have a group of guys that's not like that. But that's like battles within the team. But apart from that, like everything we did was like a winning culture. We did train hard. Like people did do what they had to do, like video, gym, training. Like everyone, that setup is very elite.
Yeah.
And
No.
so
it's
we
good,
did
man.
get the job done, and it was just like a reflection of what all the preparation that went into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, complacency does kick in, but I think we recognized it pretty quick and just had to put it to bed.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. If there's going to be a club you're going to go to in Division 1, Solent's definitely it, bro. Like,
Yeah, 100.
yeah, there's no point. What do you, I don't know, man. Maybe this is, I don't know if you have the answer, but, what do you want to do at basketball, really? Like, I mean, it's a poignant question, because I feel like it's something I've pondered more and more this past year. It's just like, I think at some point everyone has to kind of come to that point, like, there's a road you go down doing this basketball thing. You kind of just like, okay, I'm going to play at the highest level I want to play at. Or like, am I going to stop chasing and start using basketball to create opportunities now? So like, I don't know, where do you kind of feel like you are at? Because obviously, like, I mean, it's not a bad thing at all, like, but your first year is in NBL Division 1 and you're re-signing. So like, it's not very typical to, you know, just reach, like most people are very, very impatient, I'd say. At a young age, it's very, very common to be impatient and just like, all right, next thing. Next year, you know, bigger things. But you've done the more mature thing and re-signed into a stable situation. So, I don't know, man. Like, what kind of vision do you have for basketball?
I think this is something that, especially like over last year and this year, I had a lot of reflection time, and like obviously like I got a lot closer with God and like started to like understand myself and my life and like the consequences of my life, good and bad, throughout the years. And basketball for me, like bro, like young Dre, basketball was like all I had.
Same for me, man.
It was like my getaway from like family issues, or like I just had like, I think everyone in life will turn to something.
Yeah.
People turn to alcohol, people turn to girls, people turn to sport, people turn to work, anything. People will turn, or God, people will turn to something, and I turned to
And
basketball.
long-term relationships.
And long-term relationships. But with me, I think for basketball, I figured out that I'm more than just basketball.
I did that as well. It's
It was a hard
it's difficult.
pill to
It's
swallow.
a difficult pivot, isn't it, man? To be honest,
Yeah.
especially when like you've been like a hooper for so
That's
long,
what I'm
and
saying.
I don't know. There's this culture of just like, I mean, if you're our age or even older, man, like you idolize everything about Kobe Bryant's whole mentality. But it's kind of like, it's not everyone's Kobe Bryant, man, and quite frankly, like it's unhealthy. And I don't think you become a very well-rounded person. And he's abnormal in the fact that, I mean, he just sort of just like was very good at life. Even when he finished basketball, like he was right.
Smashed
Yeah, he's
it.
absolutely smashing it, you know, like so. But not everyone's Kobe Bryant. And I think you have to do some work off the court as well. And I think that's like, it's not something that I did a very good job of growing up. It was like, that's all I did was play basketball, man. So it's like now I'm getting older, it's kind of just like, yeah, you know, it's not even necessarily pursuing something, but it's just getting some other interests, some other hobbies, and just, you know, trying to branch out. Because, I mean, this is the last stop, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, after this, it's done.
Literally, I was thinking to myself just before, I signed with Solent initially, I was like, over the years, I had a different idol of basketball. Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Devin Book. I was like, just idolizing all these people, and I would work out like I'm them. I would watch all their highlight tapes. I would try to be these people that I wanted to be like. But then, like, obviously, like, as I got closer to God, I had a lot more like reflection with me, and I was like, damn, like, I'm not even like being me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I talk about basketball and like why I'm at Solent, in my head I was like, cool, like, I'll just go to the BBL, have a good year at Solent, go to the BBL. BBL offers came, but I knew in my head if I went to the BBL this year, I wouldn't be going for me. I'd be going because people.
This is the thing with this profession as well, man. A lot of people make decisions based on like perception. We've been in this for like nearly 40 minutes now, so like got a good amount of time. But
good content. Good. Hopefully, it's better than Danny's. Danny,
we had a good conversation yesterday, actually, Danny. I enjoyed the conversation. It was a nice convo. Like I said, it's not just for me. Just for me, this is nice, man. Honestly, because like I haven't seen you guys in 2 years, so like it's cool to catch up and see where you guys are at personally. Because even when we talk over the phone, like it's no fault. It's like none of our faults, but like we're all in our own situations, and we only get to like sort of catch up on FaceTime, and you know it's not always great. We're always doing things or whatever, but we don't really
live in Leeds
talk like this. At least I don't. I don't know how much you two talk, but at least I don't get a lot of time to talk to you.
No, yeah, facts.
So it's been nice. This is another reason why I kind of want to do this thing, man. Like, to talk to my friends and stuff. But yeah, you never got back to me, Danny. So it's Dre's turn. So I'm pretty sure I've come up with the name of what I want to call this podcast. But seeing as you're my second guest and like you're here, do you have any ideas what you want to call the podcast? Leave it to you.
As in like this episode or the actual?
No, the podcast. Like you want to name the podcast?
Oh, I got this name for the episode.
What's the name for the episode?
What? I'm saying the episode. Me and him, not you, man. Not everything's about you.
Yeah, get over yourself.
More like the simp and the gimp.
The simp and the gimp
kind of vibe.
So I mean, that's unbelievably corny, but don't call me. Why am I the gimp?
I'm getting called simp. You gotta be called something. But for the podcast, what did Danny say?
Danny never got back to me with an answer. Danny flopped on that. Do you have any now? Have you thought about it? Because I know you're up all night thinking.
Coolest two out on the planet and friends.
You're so stupid.
Man.
What are you saying?
No.
Because no. I can go two places right now. Either like.
No, it's fair. Do you know? Okay.
Or like cool.
No one ever. This is interesting, bro. No one ever asked me why I put that because I always feel. Okay, so I'm about to tell the story. I'm about to tell everybody the story why.